So on Thursday night, Governor Gavin Newsom of California debated Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida on Fox News in this debate called Red States versus Green State. In this debate, red state versus blue state, or one state, two state, red fish, blue fish, whatever they called it, it was, to me, it was from the very beginning of it being announced by Fox News and Hannity, extremely bizarre. And watching it now, I will say it was an informative debate. I thoroughly enjoyed the debate. I won't even say it was informative. I don't think I learned a whole lot new, but it was a good debate. But I'm still sitting here wondering to myself, why in the world would Governor Gavin Newsom even agree to do this? There are a lot, many Democrats and liberals and progressives came out in the very beginning and asked this question when it was first announced that they were going to do this, and they were saying that if Governor Newsom isn't running for president, why would he do this? And if he's not going to challenge Vice President Harris in 2028, as he has claimed he is not going to do, that she is the next logical person to be president after having served as vice president, then why would he do this? And so I also was of the exact same mind. I also wondered, like, why is he doing this? And so I did watch tonight, and I have to come back to say that I think it was a big mistake. Or, okay, let me be fair, that it was a mistake, that it was a misstep. It wasn't a big mistake, because the truth of the matter is that Gavin Newsom is an excellent debater. He's an amazing speaker, and he is a good surrogate for President Biden and his administration. He is. He does a great job. He's extremely charismatic, and he is exceptionally articulate, and he does an amazing job of answering questions well. And that's from a political standpoint. There are people who watch this debate who are going to say that he didn't answer the questions well. The questions weren't fair. Sean Hannity and Fox News probably promised this man, I hope, a fair debate with honest questions and gave them some kind of framework for being able to prep. But every single question that came at this debate was a question slanted against Governor Newsom and for Ron DeSantis. And I thought that was disgusting. Now, I've seen some of the political pundits on the Malcolm X app in all the excrements that are on the Malcolm X app talking about that this was not a good performance by Governor Newsom, or was a less than stellar or lackluster or disappointing performance. I don't agree at all. I'm a big fan of David Pakman. I watch him all the time, on this app, on the YouTube. I'm going to watch David Pakman, Roland Martin every single day. Those are probably the most watched channels that I, engage in and that I, consume content from. And I want to say, beyond a shadow of a doubt, I do not agree with Pakman. This wasn't a great performance because the questions were horrible, and he did a good job of what he was given. I think place the blame where the blame lies. It lies on Fox News and Hannity. But the thing is, who would not have expected that to be the case? Now, I want to give you some of the key highlights and some of the best parts. I just want to say, in regards to Ron DeSantis, you ain't gonna be no nominee. Like, you ain't gonna run for president. You ain't running for president. Like, just it's a wrap. It will not surprise me if Ron DeSantis does not drop out of this race next week. I anticipate that by Friday, December the 9th, Ron DeSantis will throw in the towel. This has been a bad week for him. The fact that the Koch brothers, Money Pack, big dogs, are now putting their money and their energy behind Nikki Haley. And tonight's debate did him no favors. It was literally, he was standing in a hole. I know it's hard to see him in the hole because he's, he didn't have on his heels. He was in the hole, and tonight Gavin Newsom pummeled him down much further in that hole. And it all started with his very opening line in the debate, where Governor Newsom made clear what we already all knew. Take a look at this.
Voting rights, on civil rights, on LGBTQ rights, on women's rights, not just access to abortion, but also access to contraception. You want to weaponize grievance. You are focusing on false separateness. You in particular, Ron, are on a banning binge, a cultural purge, intimidating and humiliating people you disagree with. You and President Trump are really trying to light democracy on fire. So, Sean, there are profound differences tonight, and I look forward to engaging. But there's one thing in closing that we have in common, is neither of us will be the nominee for our party in 2024. And I want to answer that.
And you would think that if there was any room anywhere for Ron DeSantis to gain some ground, it would be on border security, migrant detention or whatever he's calling it. But no, he didn't. As Governor Newsom clearly pointed out, he's the only governor on the stage of a border state. And while he isn't a big fan of some of the things happening with asylum policies, he absolutely gave a phenomenal retort to DeSantis. Take a look at this.
Parking lot in Sacramento, California. I met with those migrants that you lied to under false pretense. That kind of gamesmanship, using human beings as pawns, I think is disqualifying. So again, a guy who stands here, who's been out on the Republican debate stage saying, well, he's going to be tough, he's going to shoot people with backpacks, and that he has a strategy to potentially even invade our second largest trading partner, Mexico, that has a record of supporting amnesty and supporting reforms under the Obama administration, is the last guy to be standing on stage talking about the issue of immigration reform tonight.
And in my opinion, the highlight, the best moment of this debate came toward the end, and it was in this statement. You've got to catch this.
He's been doing this all over campaign trail. What's wrong with Toni Morrison's books?
It's not banned.
What's wrong? It's not true.
Not.
What's wrong with Amanda Gorman's?
It's not banned.
And the poetry.
Not banned.
1,406. 1,406 books have been banned on your banning binge in the state of Florida. As it relates to parental rights, come on, California, it's in our Constitution, parental engagement. It's called the LCFF process. We actually require parental engagement on curriculum development, and we don't. Complete lie. We don't require K through third grade sexual education. That doesn't happen until middle school. What you're doing is using education as a sword for your cultural purge. And you know what? With all due respect, I remember in the 1970s, we had a bill called the Briggs Initiative. And there was a guy by the name of Ronald Reagan, so offended by the Briggs Initiative, which was the original Don't Say Gay bill. In that case, it was not allowing teachers that happened to be gay to teach. And Reagan had the courage to stand up, and he said, you can't catch gay like you can measles. I don't like the way you demean people. I don't like the way you demean the LGBTQ community. I don't like the way you demean and humiliate people you disagree with, Ron. I really find this fundamentally offensive, and this is a core value that distinguishes the values of my state and, frankly, the vast majority of Americans against the weaponization of education and the purging that he's advocating.
I really cannot see a way out of this for Ron DeSantis. I know that many Republicans thought that he was the heir apparent. They felt very good about his chances. He absolutely pushed through a firm Republican, conservative, well-controlled Heritage Foundation and all those people agenda on the people of Florida. But it's come at a heavy price. The culture wars have truly ripped and divided this nation apart. And I believe that the American people are hungry to hear a message of unity and being able to bring people back together. To be fair and honest with you, that's definitely one of the things that resonated with people in the Biden versus Trump campaign, is that President Biden promised to do what was right, what was ethical, what was moral, take the high road, and all in an effort to bridge American differences. And no, he hasn't been successful in achieving that goal in 3 years. He has been successful, I believe, in taking the high road and being morally correct and doing what he feels he is right for the American people. But bridging those gaps have probably proven for him a lot harder than he thought they would be. The deep divide of America it is a chasm that takes a whole lot more than just good intentions. And I think that Gavin Newsom absolutely gets that, and he was able to kind of highlight that in some of his rhetoric. And that's a rhetoric that Ron DeSantis has never embraced and never really understood. He is from the fear party, in my opinion. And that's a lot of what we heard tonight. And it just didn't resonate on the stage. It just fell flat. And I'm certain that Fox News pundits are spinning this to make it better for Ron than what it was. But the American people, we know, the average everyday person out there, like, we saw it with our own two eyes. We know that it was an absolute disaster for Ron. So I'm excited for, I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes next week. I am excited about Gavin Newsom's political career. But I don't know if tonight was the night to really like launch it. But again, I guess it couldn't have hurt. Yeah, every surrogate on the field is a surrogate on the field as we approach 2024. And I think all of us have to like buckle up and get ready to do some big work, because it's going to be a lot harder race, and a long race, a long, hard race to November. And so I think it's time to get ready. So those are just thoughts. So, I really want to know what you think. If you saw it, if let me know your thoughts. Am I right? This is what I'm saying resonating with you. Do you totally disagree? Or is it a situation where you didn't watch it, but you watched these clips and now you have an opinion? Let me know what you think in the comments. And always, please share this. If you are a subscriber, please share this with one person, with a friend. I'm trying to grow the account. Like, we're getting there. I'm at 900 followers finally. It's been a long, hard road. Let's get to 1,000. And if you are not a subscriber, subscribe. Like, subscribe.